this is what I was talking about. You have to draw an average total cost curve or marginal curve on the graph so that the company is making economic profit. All right, if I do this, what you want to make sure to show an economic profit, I have to, this is the demand curve, and that's basically the price. So I want to make sure that my average total cost curve is going to be below the demand curve at some point. So I'm going to draw this like this. That's my average total cost curve. Hold on one sec. Alright, and this is, I think I said monopolistically competitive market, right? So if I have my average total cost curve like that, and you have to remember your marginal cost curve is always, always, always going to intersect this average total cost curve at its minimum point. That's your marginal curve. And that's just because if you think about your grades, this is your average grade. If your marginal grade or the next grade you make is below your average, then your average is going to be falling, right? But when your next grade is above your average, you know, let's say your average is a 80, right? And your next grade is a 95, I hope. So it's going to pull your average up. So this number here is just going to start going up. That's all that means. So to solve this problem, with every single one of them, you're going to do marginal revenue equals marginal cost. This is the marginal revenue curve. This is the demand curve. All right. This gives me the quantity. Sorry, I want to produce. And then you go up to here. All right. And that point there tells me this is how much it costs on average to produce this many units. So let's say it costs $10 on average to produce each good. And let's say I have 20 goods. All right. But the good news is I can charge more than what it costs me to produce them. I can go all the way up to this demand curve here, and that means I can charge a price of $12. So for 20 goods, my total cost is going to be 20, the number of quantity, times on average 10. So I've got 20 goods sitting in the room. Each of them cost me $10 to produce, which is a total of $200, right? If I added it all up, 20 goods, 10 plus 10 plus 10 plus 10, 20 times, $200. Now, on the good other side, my revenue side, I have 20 goods. I get to sell them at a price, because this is price, of $12. 20 times 12 is going to be $240, which means our profit's going to be $40. And I can also double check that because this right here, this is nothing but profit. Now, it would be different had it looked like this. If I come over here, let's say my average total cost curves were way up here. All right, here's my average total cost curve. Here's my marginal cost curve, and here's my marginal revenue curve. Here, I would have produced Q units, and I would have been able to charge a price of, let's say, $12. But the bad thing here is that it cost me $15 to make, which means for every single unit, I am basically losing $3. So this is actually loss. And the key here is the average total cost curve. When the average total cost curve sits below the demand curve, that's wonderful, right? Also, make sure in this chapter you understand what it means to have capacity. Capacity or excess capacity means that is the firm producing at its lowest average total cost, which is going to be this point right here. And when you have monopolistic competition, the firms are not producing. So make sure you understand what capacity is. That just means they're not producing at their minimum average total cost. All right? Other thing I want you to know, we talked about this. If the marginal utility of the first good is 1, then my total utility is 1. If the marginal utility of my second piece of pizza is 2, then my total utility is going to be 1 plus 2, which is 3. So as long as marginal utility is going up or is positive, this total utility is going to be rising. But let's say my third slice of pizza makes me sick, so I only get negative utility from it, then my total utility is going to go down. So make sure you understand the relationship between marginal utility and total utility. Other thing I wanted you to know, and I'm going to stop the video and make another one.